Namaste children, welcome back to social science class. In today's class, let us learn about the Surat crisis children. On the ground of controversy over Bengal partition, you have learned in the previous class that about the partition of Bengal. Later on, they cancelled the partition of Bengal. On the ground of this controversy over Bengal partition, the radicals held agitations on Swadeshi and also for prohibition of foreign goods. They did not wanted to use the foreign goods. They wanted to have only our own goods. So the radicals they held agitation on Swadeshi and prohibition of foreign goods. The moderates wanted to confine the protest only to Bengal. Moreover, they were not ready for the direct confrontation with the government. This led to the outburst of differences between moderates and the radicals, giving way of political confusions in the Congress. Because moderates view was totally different from the radicals. So in the year 1907, Congress session held at Surat. Congress was split into two between moderates and radicals. So this Congress in the year 1907 it was split into two between moderates and radicals. After the split of the Congress, the government took severe punitive measures against the radicals. Because for the government, it was the problem only with the radicals, not with that much with the moderates. So they took very severe measures against the radicals, and several of the radicals were sent to jail and a few were sent on exile. Tilak, you can see here Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he was given blackwater punishment, and was blackwater punishment is like this. They used to be sent to Andaman and Nicobar jail, and then there the punishment was given. And later, Tilak was sent to Mandalay jail, which is in Burma. And to make the radicals politically inactive, the British tried to win the favor of the moderates as well as the Muslims by giving greater representation in the legislature. And to carry out this intention, Morley Minto reforms were implemented in the year 1909. We have learned in detail about the Morley Minto reforms in the previous class. In this act, they created a separate election constituency for the Muslims. Meanwhile, First World War broke out in the year 1914, and this gave a new force to the national movement. So in the year 1916, Lokamanya Tilak and Annie Besant, they organized Home Rule movement. What is this Home Rule movement? This movement was inspired by Irish Home Rule movement. The main objective of Home Rule movement is to bring self-government in India. So, Tilak and Annie Besant started Home Rule movements separately in Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra in the year 1916. Next comes the Rowlatt Act. Rowlatt Act came into being in the year 1919. In December 1917, a committee was formed under the guidance of Justice Rowlatt. Its purpose was to suppress the revolutionary activities in India. Ultimately, the Rowlatt Act was implemented in February 1919. What is this Rowlatt Act? According to this Rowlatt Act, on account of suspicion, government could arrest any person without giving any reason. See, this was a very bad thing which happened. On just suspicion, government could arrest any person without giving any reason. And without prior notice, the government could search any person or his house. And the arrested person could not even get support from a lawyer, or he could not even appoint a lawyer for himself. Hence, Indians opposed this act very strongly. Then comes the Jalenwalla Bagh massacre in the year 1919. And this was a very pitiable act, children. This was our people, very cruel act of Britishers. And very innocent people died in this. In the no sooner when Gandhiji started Satyagraha against the Rowlatt Act, agitations began in various parts of Punjab. On 13th April 1919, a meeting was held in the Jalenwalla Bagh garden, a little distance away from the Golden Temple in Amritsar. The intention was to demonstrate against the arrest of their leaders, Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal, in the meeting. And the people they were all unarmed people. But you can see General Dyer. He is the General Dyer, the security officer of Amritsar, General Dyer, in order to teach a lesson to the protesting people. He ordered to open fire at the unarmed innocent people after closing the only exit of the park. Only one exit was there. Even that exit was closed, and they started to fire like anything. And taken by surprise, the crowd fell in panic. As per the government report, only 379 people had been killed. But in reality, the number of deaths were higher than what the report said, because many people had gathered there. And then comes the revolutionary nationalism. Some of the radicals, they set themselves for the armed revolution. So they were called as the revolutionary nationalists. Their aim was to fetch at the earliest complete freedom for India. Complete freedom for India at the earliest, as soon as possible, we must get the freedom or fetch the freedom. Intense patriotism and a tendency to sacrifice was the basic concept of revolutionary nationalism. Here you can see Vasudev Balwant Phadke. Vasudev Balwant Phadke was the first among the revolutionaries who formed the secret organizations. Damodar and Chapekar brothers, Balakrishna Chapekar brothers, were the intimate associates of this secret organization, which was started by Vasudev Balwant Phadke. Both of them, they were arrested and hanged till death. The other noteworthy revolutionaries of the nations were, you can see here, V.D. Savarkar, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, Khudiram Bose, Chandrasekhar Azad, Bhagat Singh. Children, here, Khudiram Bose was the first martyr to be hanged in the history of Indian freedom struggle. In the year 1908 itself, Khudiram Bose was hanged to death. See, at that time, his age was just 19 years. A young boy he was, just 19 years, he was hanged to death. See the sacrifices of our people. And Vinayak Damodar Savarkar was another revolutionary. In 1899, he set up the first secret organization called Mitra Mela. The British government sentenced him for life imprisonment and sent him to Andaman jail. After independence, Indian government erected his statue in Andaman jail, where he endured brutal physical tortures. Then you can see Chandrasekhar Azad. Chandrasekhar Azad joined Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, and he was an associate in some cases like the Kakori conspiracy. It is the bombing the Legislative Assembly Hall and firing at British officer Sanderson in Lahore. In order to escape the British soldiers, in order to escape the British soldiers, Azad fought all alone with a small pistol. On finding the last bullet in his pistol, he shot himself to keep his vow of not getting arrested by the British till death. See, children, how what was his motto? He did not want to get arrested by the British, nor he did not want to get killed by them. So, with this last bullet, he got himself shot dead. And many martyrs, such as you can see Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, Sukhdev, Bhagavati Charan, and Gaya Prasad, they sacrificed themselves to release India from the clutches of British. Bhagat Singh joined the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association and became its principal secretary. 1929, Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, and Sukhdev they bombed the Central Legislative Assembly in Delhi. These three were caught, tried, and hanged in Lahore Central Jail. Bhagat Singh was the first Indian to give the call Inquilab Zindabad. Long live the revolution. Children, read this lesson carefully, listen to the video, listen to the audio and watch the video, and carefully you read the lesson, children. And I'll give you some of the notes, copy down neatly in your classwork. Thank you.